Now listen up, babies. I'm here to ride the train down the funky town. The Unloaded Media Channel is doing a giveaway once he hits 500 subscribers. For more information and details, check the description down below. And you too can be funky like a monkey.
We. All right, that means, yes, we are live, and I hit the wrong dang video for it, so y'all got to see VM Foss's work creating a replica of the late, great Dusty Rhodes. Now, I will go and play the proper intro. If it'll let me. All right, there you go. Now it feels more official. We are live, and by we I mean I guess the Royal Week, because I don't have a panel right now, so you have to just put up with me, guys. I have sent out links. Nobody's jumped on. So if you had a link out there and you're watching, please save me and the millions and millions watching at home. Oh, wait. This isn't WWE, and I'm not The Rock. Anyway, you get the idea. I hope. So, yeah, if I got to talk to myself, the show ain't going to last very long. But out there on the chat so far, on the YouTube side, you had Ron 2A Matters was out there, Kingpin was out there, and Jason Stewart as well. So if you three are still out there, good evening to you. And yeah, if anybody's wondering why I did not get on time, I've had a little bit of an emergency here at the house, which slowed down being able to get everything set up. And then I had to set up, been having microphone issues with the microphone on my camera. So I got a set of wireless microphones for when we go to Tennessee. And I'm using those, well, one of those anyway, tonight. Let's see how that works. Tell me how it sounds. Does it sound good out there? And Jason, make sure you get plenty of napkins. Hitting on the waitress is Kingpin's way of doing it, and it seemed to work well. See, if Kingpin's still out there, we will get a response. We always do when we bring up that Burger King incident. So, yep. Yes. Sounds good. Okay, good. Better or worse than the other microphone that I normally use? They said these are brand new. I just got them. Opened them up. Not that window, girl. Ooh, you got a mean one, or just not up to your standards after the nurse that you met at the hospital, or nurses that you met at the hospital? Anyway. Oh, man. So, for anybody out there that hasn't heard, on Friday, the Supreme Court stuck it to the federal government and got rid of Chevron Deference, which is what the ATF has been using to justify all their silly rules changes. They do not have the authority, according to the Supreme Court on Friday, or any other branch of the federal government, the executive branch, I should say, for that matter, to do so. This means any regulation set up by the EPA, any set up by the FCC, FDA, which, by the way, would include the shot that they made everybody get a couple of years ago, or tried making everybody get, I should say. All that stuff the federal government did not have the authority to do under, because Chevron deference has been ruled. No, you can't do that. Anything like that has to go through Congress. Prior to that, the court had decided, it was back in 1984, Chevron versus I forget what, that federal agencies had the ability to reinterpret or interpret a law if Congress was vague in how the laws were written. The Supreme Court on Friday said, no, the court back then was wrong. You can't do that. So from the start, that would mean that the ATF had no business changing the rules with braces, had no business changing the definition of a machine gun where bump stocks are concerned, no business changing what a receiver is for the 80% Glock thing that's going on right now. None of it. They had no right to do any of it. So, and keep in mind, it only applies to the federal government. So if your state banned bump stocks or your state banned pistol braces, you're still SOL as far as the law is concerned. Anything like that that's from a federal agency is not constitutional, which it never was in the first place. The court back in 84 was wrong in that decision. The executive branch enforces law. They don't get to make it. What about 18-year-olds and the new restrictions? Yeah, that would apply to that. You're talking about where the federal government's trying to say 18-year-olds can't buy a firearm? Yeah, that they can't do that. So, there's a couple of states that have passed laws that they're going to allow 18-year-olds to buy handguns and stuff. So, if they pass, I think Indiana was one. I think West Virginia proposed one. So we'll see how that goes there too. So yeah, no, the executive branch does not have the authority to say 18-year-olds cannot buy a long gun, because the law is passed by Congress allows 18-year-olds to buy long guns. But yes, so them trying to reinterpret it to say that you have to be 21 or older to buy a long gun just by executive action, that would fall under Chevron deference and in the past, and therefore they can't do that. So that's basically where we stand on that. Anything that they try and pass and do through bureaucratic regulation has been said, the Supreme Court said no. No, Jason, you still can't do that because that's based on state laws. There are state laws that ban that. And why would you want to? You're not thinking about going Muslim, are you, Jason? Or Mormon? Ooh, Mormons. If anybody out there's watching that's a Mormon, I kid. Anybody out there's watching a Muslim who's a Muslim? Maybe not so much. Damn states' rights. Hey, Knives. Yeah, you ever stop and wonder what with the like more back in the day when Mormons allowed it and in Islam where they still allowed it? What's going through these guys' minds where they have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Muhammad wives? Isn't one enough? I mean, good Lord. One is enough to cause a headache. How can you stand to have that many more? I don't know. I don't think I could tolerate it. I think I think I'd be in prison by now if I had more than one wife. I don't know if I could put up with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That would just be too annoying. Too annoying. Too annoying. Oh, I got a visitor, so I'll show you the latest kitty my wife has rescued. See the latest little fuzzball my wife rescued? She's a furry little thing. Little long hair, pretty blue eyes too. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. She's got really pretty eyes. Look in the camera. Look in the camera. Not going to. So, yeah, she's still at the rescuing kitties phase. Howdy, M. Gabriel. Yeah, we got a puppy and a house full of cats. And this one and the puppy are just getting attached to one another. They chase each other around, playing all the time. They're probably around the same age. Magic underwear, yeah, on the Mormons' knives. Hey, you know what? I'd rather have to deal with the magic underwear than being the one that had to clean Muhammad's clothes. I'm just saying. If you know, you know. Yeah. Oh Jesus, yeah. The 74. You got the numbers backwards. And here's the question I have for Muslims: where in the Quran does it say they're all women, or any of them are? I've yet to get an answer to that. By the way, when talking to a Muslim, they always want to change the subject. And here's another thing, right? Drinking wine in Islam is haram. It's a sin. It's one of the greatest sins that you can commit, drinking the fruit of the vine. And yet the Quran describes heaven as flowing with wine that you can drink and never run out of. So it's okay to sin in heaven? I don't know, something just seems off about that concept. You know, if heaven's supposed to be the holiest of places, and drinking wine is haram, how is it permitted in heaven? Bonsai, Mini Wayne. Hey, tell Ron I said hi too. And Misty. And Mini Wayne, be sure you give Misty a kiss. Don't let her say no anymore. And after the debate on Thursday, you are definitely a much more fitting candidate than Joe Biden is. Animals are knocking stuff down again. Yeah, and Minnie Wayne, I did write you in on our ballot during the primary, but I guess you didn't win. It would have been for a seat on the Board of Education, I believe. Shame on you, Misty. For shame. Man. How dare you treat Mini Wayne that way? God, this is gonna be a long show. Not in the good way at this point. So again, if you're out there and you have a link, please jump in. Some people can do this by themselves. I'm not one of them. I will. We'll go down some rabbit holes that I don't even know how we'll get there, and I can't blame Rob. Speaking of which, where is that some bitch? I know I sent him a link. He's usually him or Gary are usually the first ones in lately, and neither one of them jumped on. Hope everything's okay. I hope I sent them a link. I better check. Who did I send links to? Let me go over here to my email. Yeah, there's Gizzard. Gizzard got the link. Yep, Gizzard and Rob both got the link. So they can't make any excuses that they didn't get the link. Unless the link didn't work. No. Let me see. Is it the right link? Let me click my own link and see what happens. I can literally talk to myself. Woohoo! Your browser can't access your devices. Try restarting your browser. Yeah, because they're being used by another browser. But yeah, that link works. So I don't know. They just being lazy, maybe. I don't know. Oh boy. Foss is out there. Says he'll jump in for hour 2. Got his hands full right now. Okie doke. The way it's going, I don't know if we're gonna make it to hour 2. We're only 20 minutes. We're not even 20 minutes in, and I don't know what the hell to talk about. Oh, excuse me. Oh man. Yeah, circus. I don't know. It Joe reminded me more of when I was going to Christian school between third, fourth, and the first time through 6th grade. Yeah, I had to do 6th grade twice because of childhood illness. I missed too much school the first time through. Even though I had passed, I couldn't move on because I missed too many days. Stupid state law in Pennsylvania. Anyway, getting back to where I was going with this, we used to go and visit the old folks in a nursing home. Most of them had things were dementia and other uh, illnesses and whatnot that affected their mental capacity. Joe would have fit right in with the people. He really, really would have. He, it, if there wasn't proof before that Joe Biden is not fit to be president of the United States due to his mental capacity, that sure as hell was. Getting attacked by a little furball again. Don't attack my legs. It's not nice. It's not nice. Yeah, it's one thing about this little furball. She likes to attack legs. And again, if anybody wants a puffball, oh, there we go. Now she's looking at the camera. See those pretty blue eyes of hers? I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but yeah, she got pretty blue eyes. She almost looks like a mix of Persian and Siamese with her fur coloration. You can see her ears are getting that brownish color to them, and so is her nose. Anyway, does the channel have an email? It's right there on the screen. It keeps going through. Watch the scroller. But yes, it's rich@unloadedmedia.us. Yep. I don't know if I put it in. I don't know if I put the email down in the description box or not. Yep. Yeah, you can only miss 20 days, and I missed over a month being in the hospital. Yeah, see, there's the email right there. rich@unloadedmedia.us. Yeah, she is a cutie, that's for sure. Like your cats are huge, old, and lazy. Yeah, my wife's cat's that way. She's not huge though. She's still a little thing. My wife's a cat. Uh, I'm not sure how old she is, but she's around 10, I think, somewhere around there. She doesn't want to do much of anything. Yeah. I was and the best part is the over a month I spent in the hospital was my my birthday too. So yeah, I was one of those lucky kids that got to be in the hospital for their birthday. The good thing about that was it was children. If there is a silver lining to it, was that it was Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, and they would throw birthday parties for kids that were stuck in the hospital and stuff. So my friends got to come to the hospital, and we had a party in the recreation room. Each floor had their own recreation room and stuff in the hospital. Had pizza and cake and ice cream, so it was cool. Presents were exchanged, all that kind of stuff. They had to limit how many of my friends could be there, but you know, did get to have a regular birthday party, basically. You know, kids from the hospital floor were there, or the ward anyway that I was in, and yeah, it was a fun party. It's actually one of the better birthday parties I had. It was kind of cool. We were playing computer games and stuff. Nintendo, because that was right after the first Nintendo came out. Ow! Mm. Remember when I said she likes attacking legs? Yeah, she does. And her little claws are sharp. Yeah, they moved over towards where West Penn Hospital and that used to be. I was shocked by that too. The one that was there in Oakland wasn't that old. It was only about 30 years old. A little over 30. They built that in what? 87, 88. So the hospital wasn't that old. I remember when they were building that new one, the new hospital. Well, what was the new hospital? The one that's no longer there anymore. It's a lot. They not only did they close down the old one, they completely tore it down. This is a vacant lot now. I was shocked when my wife had to go to Pittsburgh for her hysterectomy and everything. It was like I thought maybe they were going to turn it into a wing of Presby or something, but no, they just tore it down completely. Probably in protest to UPMC laying off a bunch of people. They've been laying off a lot of clerical staff and whatnot. My wife works for UPMC, so She works at the one in Cumberland, UPMC, Western Maryland, I believe is what it's called. And she was talking about how they've been laying off a lot of clerical staff. I guess cutting back from all the people that they were made to hire during the COVID situation, shall we call it. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if there's some kind of protest over that. Presby being basically the flagship hospital for UPMC, for those who aren't from the Pittsburgh area. It stands for Presbyterian University Hospital. It's the main hospital for UPMC, which is University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. Oh, there's Gizzard. You're late, Gary. I've been having to figure out what to talk about for a whole 26 minutes now. Yeah, good. Going down the hill from Presby, you had the way it went. You had Children's Hospital, then Presby, then Ioneer, and I don't know what and then you had a bunch of little clinics around there. Hello.
Wah.
Wow. What do you mean, wah?
You heard me.
I'm using one of the new microphones.
You sound weird.
Sounds weird. Or do I just sound normal?
You sound kind of normal, but way clearer than I normally hear you. It's like, is it rich or is it rich?
Yeah. But yeah, see, I got one of them. I'm trying it out.
It works.
Yeah, that's what Jason said it worked pretty well earlier in the YouTube chat. So.
Well, dang it. Now that I'm on StreamYard, I can't eat pretzels anymore.
Put them in a bowl.
It's not the point. They're noisy. Nobody wants to hear me munch.
I got pretzels too, so we can both do it and just annoy the hell out of everybody.
Do you have Dot's home-style pretzels?
No, I have Utz butter waffle pretzels.
Oh. I'm going to say you're in Pennsylvania, or you're from Pennsylvania. You should have.
Yeah.
Kind of the pretzel capital of the world, ain't it?
Yeah. And these are a local brand. So.
My favorite is Snyder's of Hanover. But...
yeah, they're good. They're not that far from here either.
I didn't buy these. My daughter gave them to me because she didn't like them. She says, "Will you eat these? We bought them. We don't like them." She does that all the time. I get sent home with shit because my daughter don't.
Here's the worst part, right? I pick these out. My wife picks out the pretzel thins.
Mm-hmm.
She takes these to work with her and leaves her pretzel thins here.
Oh, I see how it is.
Uh-huh. I complained to her the other day, so today when she had to go do mixing the bicarb stuff that they use for dialysis and whatnot, she brought those back to the house.
So you're talking about Chevron today? Is that it?
Well, we were. Oh. Or I was, anyway. But,
oh. Did you get it solved?
Get what solved?
Chevron. The Supreme Court solved it for us, didn't they?
Yes, they solved it for us. I didn't have to do anything but just say what happened and what it covers.
Well, I was on my way to my daughter's, which is an 1.5-hour trip every Saturday. Daydreaming, as one tends to do when they're driving by themselves in the vehicle. Thinking, I think just about anybody in America would admit that when you look at the presidential election we have coming up, and I'm not just saying these two candidates, but particularly these two candidates, just about anybody's going to look at them and say,
These are two despicable human beings. Both of them. I mean, pretty much. Agree or disagree?
Which two
Yeah.
people?
Well, yeah, but
Trump and Biden.
like I said,
Oh, okay.
Trump's an asshole, but he's our asshole.
Right, but I mean, I'm not saying not, pick a side one way there. I'm just saying neither
Yeah.
one of them is anybody you'd look up to and say,
Oh no,
these are
Trump
great
is
guys.
definitely flawed. I mean, no, I don't think anybody's going to argue that Trump isn't flawed.
Yeah,
And
it's like
my
I was
parents.
saying.
Oh, go ahead, Jason.
Oh, go ahead, Gizzard. Go ahead, Buster Crab.
I was gonna say my parents used to always say during presidential elections, it's not like you ever have anybody good to pick. It's usually always the lesser of two evils.
Mm-hmm.
So that got me to thinking: if we ever had, when's the last time we had a presidential election where we really had two good guys running against each other? And
Other than being completely
I have a
incompetent,
theory. I want to know what your theory is on
other than being completely incompetent.
Well, I'm not talking about incompetency. I'm just talking about they aren't assholes.
Carter versus Reagan?
Carter was pretty bad. He didn't have a lot of people who really liked him.
Carter was supposed to be a really likable guy, just
Reagan was kind of
at the
a
job.
snake, though.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to think in my lifetime.
Go
That's
back.
the closest.
Go back one more election.
Ford Carter? Yeah. I can see
you
that.
had two guys. I mean, Gerald Ford, he kind of fell into that job in the first place. And as I recall, were both of them Eagle Scouts? I believe so.
Who'd
I
Kennedy
think they
run
both
against?
served in the Navy, didn't they, during World War II?
Yeah. Two pretty decent people. Now, great.
Neither one fit for the job. But
well, here you are, and you had Jimmy Carter. Right now, this was after Watergate.
Mm-hmm.
Ford was kind of the tail end of Watergate and everything, which Ford basically Nixon appointed into that job just so he'd have somebody to give the job to before he resigned. Because with the vice presidency open with the death of Spiro Agnew, he kind of had to. Otherwise, it was going to the Speaker of the House, and that would have been a Democrat.
Yep.
So, we had to let's throw Ford in there real quick, and okay.
He picked Ford because everybody liked him.
Oh yeah,
not because he was fit for the job, but everybody on both sides of the aisle liked Gerald Ford at that point.
And my theory is the Democrats are thinking, we got this made. Everybody hates the Republicans right now. Who can we pick that has 0%? We're not going to be able to dig up any dirt on this guy.
A peanut farmer from Georgia.
You got this Georgia governor. Everybody likes the guy. He's charismatic. He smiles all the time. It's like nobody could put any dirt on this guy. And it worked. You had two good guys. Now, my theory is there's a reason for that. Good guys aren't leaders. Good guys can't govern. Agree or disagree? At least pretty much that's the way it's been. If you're a sweetheart, good guy, you don't have the cutting edge it takes to deal with the issues of this country.
You got to be somewhat cutthroat to be a leader of a nation.
That's why we don't have nice guys in elections.
Well, it could be worse. We could have had Hillary. So
you still ain't out of the woods.
No.
Bill O'Reilly is
might get a Michelle Obama one of these days. You never know.
Bill O'Reilly is reporting today on X that it's a done deal. Biden's out. It's just a matter of time before they make the announcement. It's done.
Bill O'Reilly needs to stick with writing the books and stopped with the commentary. He's not been right in years.
Hey, though, can you imagine the next one that comes around and the ticket could be Gavin Newsom and Michelle Obama?
Oh God.
It's possible. It's really, really possible.
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
M. Gabriel's, I think, was it?
Them two old men look better now, don't they, Gizzard?
Mm-hmm.
Well, M. Gabriel out there says he remembers the early SNLs that caricatured Ford. Yeah, Chevy Chase was
Or
absolutely
Chevy
brutal with
Chase.
Ford. Yeah.
Hey, I was asking, who did Kennedy run against?
Which time? Oh,
Nixon.
Kennedy? Nixon.
The very well, whatever. When he got president, he ran against Nixon.
Yeah, one
Yep.
of the first historical TV presidential debates. Yes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1960.
that's where we learned how to make candidates look good and how to make them sweat. Nixon lost that debate primarily because he got hot on stage and he was sweating. Kennedy was cool.
Huh.
And Kennedy was handsome. And that's what it was all about. We started grooming people for TV even back then. Yeah.
Maybe they should have a debate with no crowd or something.
But
I believe they just did.
yeah, the reason why people get elected president is as intriguing as the people who have ran for the office. But Nixon, yeah, and Nixon's claim to fame was he served as vice president under Dwight D. Eisenhower, and he was a California governor, much like Ronald Reagan.
But the majority of presidents have been governors.
And California governor is not uncommon
No.
because it's one of our biggest states. Of course, it's
Well,
very
two of them
influential.
anyway.
Yes.
Interesting enough, both on the Republican side.
Yes, people didn't like Nixon. A lot of people hated Nixon. He didn't come across as a nice guy.
Tricky Dick.
Was he a liar and a despicable cheater? Most people think so. Was he an effective president? History will pretty much paint him as foreign policy wise. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he pretty much fucked up the war, didn't
He started relations with China.
he? Got rid of the gold
He
standard.
did all kinds of stuff. He just wanted to fix his election so he could get reelected in 72. Well, he fixed it all right.
Yep. And as far as the Vietnam War is concerned, LBJ did a number on that. It was Nixon and his staff were trying to fix it, but by that point it was too far gone for anything that Nixon did to turn that around.
Yeah, LBJ didn't get us there though. We were already there.
Mm-hmm.
That was a JFK thing. It was coming before JFK though.
Oh yeah, there was already a war going on. You had the French were kicked out during Eisenhower.
I mean, yeah, it was just getting out of hand, and JFK thought we needed to get involved.
Yeah. Sometime maybe we'll learn to keep our nose out of other people's business.
Well, on the other hand, yeah, the spreading of communism in Indochina was becoming quite ridiculous at that
Yeah.
time. So we felt like we had to do something. We weren't real effective. We were in over our heads because we couldn't commit the amount of resources we wanted to without going into full-fledged war.
Yeah. And then you had LBJ trying to micromanage the war from Washington, which never works. You got to let the generals in the field do their job.
Yeah, LBJ was quite the character.
Mm-hmm.
A big, imposing Texan. But yeah, he easily got reelected in '64, but that was sentiment more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice he didn't try in '68.
Yeah, he's like, I quit.
Yeah, but that took the Democrats by surprise because they were
Yeah.
counting on him to run for re-election, and he waited kind of late to tell people he wasn't going to do it.
Oh, yeah. And then you had Bobby Kennedy get assassinated, who was the second hope for him. And
yeah, and they're like, now what are we going to do?
Oh, Jesus, Rich, watch where you take this show, brother. Just saying.
And
I didn't say Bobby Kennedy Jr.
No, just, certain family names shall not be mentioned without censorship.
well, yeah. So, yeah, after that, they really had to scramble at the convention to find somebody. So, found this senator from Minnesota, this Hubert H. Humphrey fellow.
Mm-hmm.
Likeable enough guy, I suppose. Presidential? I don't know.
Yeah, it probably would have been Carter before Carter.
But the '76 election between Ford and Carter, we were talking about that earlier, almost didn't happen. Because at the last minute at the Republican convention that year, they really wanted to make a change and push a different candidate because they didn't think Ford quite had it. You remember that? Well, you're too young to remember.
Yeah, I was
That was the
2
Kansas
years
City.
old, Gary.
That was the lone Kansas City convention. Yeah, brand new arena in Kansas City. Kemper was brand new, so yeah, there was a push at the last minute to try to get this guy by the name of Reagan put on there instead of Gerald Ford, but they kind of ran out of steam at the last minute and Ford got it. But yeah, we almost ran Reagan 4 years before. Could Ronald Reagan have beaten Jimmy Carter? Don't know. Probably wrong time. I think they realized that too.
Mm,
With the bad taste of Watergate, I don't think anybody the Republicans would have put in there could have beat Jimmy Carter. Poor Jimmy. Jimmy didn't have a chance. Well, Ford didn't have a chance either. He got this job dropped into his lap. The economy went to shit. The Arab oil embargo dropped on him.
mhm.
Energy crisis. Oh man.
Yep. And Carter inherited all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had the uh, Islamic Revolution in Iran, which didn't help
Yes.
matters.
Yes, the fall of the Shah. Yeah.
Yeah. The
And
entire embassy being taken hostage and all that others.
let's not
Yeah.
forget the one big mistake Carter made, and he admits it. He said if he had it all to do a day, he would not have done this. What did he do that really got the public upset with
The botched rescue.
him? No, not really. Is he made the decision not to send the Americans to the Olympic Games in Moscow.
Oh.
Yep.
The Olympic Games were in Moscow in the summer of 1980.
1980.
Right
Yep, he,
before the election. He said, at the very last minute, he says, nope, we're not sending a team.
Yep.
He had all these athletes that were ready to go. And all of a sudden, it's like, nope, we're not sending a team. We can't do
it. And it was in protest to the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan.
And it turned public sentiment against him really badly.
But it made it easier for us to win just about every event in the 84 games.
Yeah. Because in retaliation, the Soviets didn't send a team in 84.
Yeah, because that was the LA games.
Right. So,
hey, we did beat the Russians in hockey that year, though.
Oh, yeah, that was before. That was before
the Winter Olympics, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor Jimmy.
It's amazing how many people still think that we beat the Soviets in the finals of that tournament.
No, it was a semifinal.
It was the semis, yeah.
They had to win two more games.
Was it 2 or 1?
They had to win 2 more games. Yeah. They
so
played
was
2
the
more
corner,
games.
It was the quarterfinal, and I thought it was the semi.
Well, it was, medal play, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for medal play, you would have the semi and then the final.
So they played Finland, and who else did they play? I think they played 2 more games.
I think Finland. It was the Soviets and then Finland for the gold.
Was it?
And then the Soviets played Canada, I believe, for the silver.
The Ducks, the Mighty Ducks.
But it was no shoe-in that we were going to beat Finland, and we had trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we weren't. Our team wasn't that skilled that we just ran over people.
Or not for the silver, for the bronze.
We didn't run like a buzzsaw over the Soviet Union that year. That was kind of one of those.
That was a fluke.
It was a fluke. It was one of those, on any Sunday type thing.
Any given Sunday, yeah. Exactly what it was.
We played the very best we could have that day, and the Soviets played a horrible game of hockey.
Yeah, and you got to remember, in that tournament, everybody else was playing amateurs. The Soviet team were essentially professionals. They had just beat the NHL All-Star team.
They'd beat our national team badly earlier. I believe in Madison Square Garden. We just played them like 2 or 3 weeks before or something. They beat the hell out of us.
Yeah. Those guys were not on the same caliber as what everybody else was sending. We basically were sending a bunch of college students. They sent guys that have been playing pro hockey in Russia for 10 years.
Yeah. Speaking of Russia, I watched a good movie today. Red Heat. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
James Belushi and Arnold.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched that today.
Yeah, the argument over which was more powerful, the gun that Arnold had or the 44 Magnum that Belushi had.
Yeah, 9.6 millimeter Russian or something. I caught that part too. Everybody knows it's the 44 Magnum. Why Dirty Harry carries it.
Here's the thing. They were both wrong. Because at that point in history, 454 Casull existed. 45 Winchester Magnum existed. The round that Bronson used in Death Wish that I can't think of the name of right now. I mean, there's a bunch of handgun calibers that were more powerful than both of them.
Mm-hmm. It's still a pretty good movie, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying it's not. But that was because of Dirty Harry and his line. People still to that day were thinking that 44 Magnum was the most powerful handgun caliber in the world, and it wasn't. It wasn't at the time when they made Dirty Harry. So.
Yeah.
M. Gabriel got behind somehow.
But yes, technically, the Democrats could run Jimmy Carter. He is eligible.
Yeah, they could.
Hey Gizzard, did you by any chance check out that movie I suggested for you?
I haven't yet. No.
You should. That's a good one. Rich, have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's pretty good, man. I really enjoyed that whole movie. I mean,
I've
enjoyed it.
I've seen Once Upon a Time in America, Once Upon a Time in the West, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, but not Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a Quentin Tarantino film, but man,
mhm.
it really is his best work, man. It's a movie. I'll just tell you right now. I'll watch it again, but right now in the future, I don't want to watch it twice because I know what's coming. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It would spoil the original watching of it for me. It was that good.
That's basically the way it is with all the Once Upon a Time movies, because I think the first two, if I remember right, Once Upon a Time in America and Once Upon a Time in the West, were both Sergio Leone movies, or at least
Uh huh.
spaghetti movie. And then Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez did Once Upon a Time in Mexico as an homage to the first two, and as the last of the mariachi movies. And I think this one fit in there too, in that same kind of vein.
Oh yeah, it's got plenty of references to the spaghetti westerns. All the old actors. Uh, it's basically all around an actor and a stuntman that are working in Hollywood in like 1969 or whatever,
Hmm.
and they live next door to Sharon Tate
Oh,
and
damn.
Roman Polanski, and the they done met the Charlie's hippie girls clan or whatever, and it's all tied in together, man. It's crazy. Classic Quentin Tarantino movie, man.
Mm.
And like, man, like at the end, like like you know how he does in movies. The violence is like so out of control. It's almost comedy.
Hmm.
He did a good job on this one. I was dreading the end of the movie. I didn't want to see what was going to happen because the Sharon Tate thing. She was
Yeah.
pregnant and everything. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just like this movie's starting to go sad quick. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm like,
Right.
man, I don't want to see how he does it. But
Hmm.
he twisted it around perfectly, and uh, they showed up at basically uh, Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt's house before they got to Sharon Tate, and they took care of business. it, in like I said, classic style. It's so violent and outrageous it becomes funny, even though it really shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But he did an awesome job with that movie.
Hmm.
Really entertaining, getting up to the part and then the ending. Like I was so worried for like 10 minutes about what was about to happen. I was like literally stunned how he pulled it off. It was pretty good.
Yeah, he got M. Gabriel says, volume down, no spoilers. Yeah, don't ruin a movie for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, go check that movie out though, man. Go check it
Well,
out. You enjoy it.
I'm gonna
It's
give a
like
spoiler for Once Upon a Time in America. If you haven't seen it, that's your dumb fault. That movie came out back in the '70s. It was a much to the gangster movies, right? There's
uh
one scene where gangsters bust into this office and just plow into this guy with Tommy guns, cut right across his neck. Next thing you know, his head just goes.
God, you
uh,
could ruin this movie for me.
when Once Upon a Time in the West is one of my all-time
Yeah.
favorites.
Oh, Henry
Now, I can
Fonda and
watch that.
Charles Bronson. Yeah, great movie.
Oh, and I can watch that one a million times. And that whatever her name was, Mariana, I don't know, Gucci or something, whatever. That chick was hotter than hell.
Mhm.
That was just a good movie, man.
Yeah.
Slow, the way they played it slow and everything the whole time.
Hmm.
That was a good movie. Henry Fonda, the
Yep.
bad guy.
Yep. Well, to be honest, I don't think there was a traditional
guy.
good guy, bad guy in the movie. You know?
No, no, no. But that is a good movie.
Well, we're almost halfway through the year.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was thinking
Yeah.
about that the other day. It came quick the last few months, but it ain't started a good year for me. But it's getting there, I guess.
M. Gabriel wants to know if we're done. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
you can come back. No more spoilers. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Have you guys have seen that one, right?
No, I haven't
You
seen
haven't
I think I
seen it.
have. Is
Oh
it got
man,
that? Is it got
Johnny
that?
Johnny Depp gets messed up in that movie. That's all I'm gonna say.
Is that got that Banderas Band-Aid ass dude?
Yeah, Antonio Banderas. Yeah, it was like I said, it was the
Yeah.
last of the El Mariachi movies,
Yeah, I remember that one.
as well as being one of. Yeah, you remember what they did to Depp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets messed up, and when he takes his sunglasses off. Thorzak says, "No Country for Old Men was a great movie."
Yep, that's a good one.
Yep.
Yep. You ever see Seven Psychopaths?
Personally,
No.
No, I mean the movie. Have you ever seen the movie Seven Psychopaths?
No, I haven't seen the movie either.
Christopher Walken, Colin Farrell, Woody Harrelson. It is hilarious.
Ah.
It's one of those movies
Oh,
that
yeah.
you shouldn't be laughing at it, but you can't help yourself because it's the way they do it. It's just hilarious.
Do they like live in a basement or something? And there's duffel bags with a headless person in it, a head. Might have seen it. Been a long time.
Well, then Woody Harrelson is a mobster basically, and Colin Farrell's buddy somehow gets a hold of his dog, and they try holding it for ransom. And
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, the dog for ransom. Now I haven't seen it since like the '90s or something, but
it came out in the
yeah,
2000s.
Long time ago.
Yeah, it was. It's one of those movies you probably shouldn't be laughing about what's happening on screen, but you can't help it because the way they filmed it and everything. It's hilarious.
I'll give you my best movie recommendation. You might want to write this one down. Right, my all-time favorite best movie of anything is a movie called At Close Range. Might be a little hard to find, man, but Christopher Walken, Sean Penn. It's based on a true story of like a crime family in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It is an excellent movie, dude. Just like
I've seen it.
That is Christopher Walken's best performance, in my opinion, ever. In that movie, if you've watched it, it's so full of so many little one-liners. It's not trying to be funny, but it's just full of so many little one-liners from him. Man, that was a hell of a role. He should have got some awards or something for that.
Tell you what, man,
The
Christopher
only
Walken
problem with
was.
the only problem with the movie is, I'll just tell you right now, don't let it shy you away. Like Madonna did the soundtrack.
Of course,
So there's like a shit ton of Madonna songs in it right at the beginning and everything.
Yeah, well, she was
But
married to Sean Penn at the time.
Yeah, yeah. If you can get past that, the movie is actually excellent.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would say that was Walken's best performance because he was damn good in The Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite. But yeah, Deer Hunter's a good movie. But man, if you could just watch that at close range, watch it a couple times, and you'd be like, yeah, man, that's a damn good movie. And like, even though he's the bad guy, you really like his character. You know what I mean?
You'd be amazed how many people I've run into that never saw a Deer Hunter. And it's like, wow, because that one really had an impact on me.
Yeah. And that was filmed in my neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah?
So, Yeah, Southwest PA. Yeah, it was where the movie was set in too. When they were home, not over
Oh
hanging
yeah.
out.
You,
Yeah,
well,
do
you
remember?
related to the Whitefords?
Not that I know
Are the Whites related to the Whitefords? Whitefords?
of. Not that I know of. I'm not saying that it couldn't be possible. Just I don't know.
Man, I did remember a show I saw on Netflix, and but not to make fun. Seriously, I think they were from West Virginia, and it was something called the the Marvelous Whites, or the something was about the White family. You know, like your name, the White family. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But these were some messed up people, boy. Uh, uh, like, damn, dude, like on the pills and the drugs, you know what I mean? But just like one wild, crazy moonshine in their baby bottles or something, man. This was a messed up clan of whites. in in the little documentary about what is a documentary, you will come away really proud of the life you have after watching a little bit of this family. Woo! It's something
Krabby,
about it. The
yeah,
it's the white. It's something.
Yeah, Krabby says the wild and wonderful whites of West Virginia.
Something. It's
Yeah, Moose said Rich played the banjo in that movie. Oh wait, different movie.
I don't play banjo, so that would be kind of hard to do. Banjo is actually supposed to be the hardest stringed instrument to play. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard numerous people say that. You know, good guitarists that were in bands that learned how to play banjo, and they said it was so much harder to learn to play banjo than it was to learn to play guitar.
I can't play any of them, so they're all hard for me.
I remember that white movie. One of them got in an argument over a car or something he sold, and he shot one of the other family members like 9 times or something. And the guy lived. So like the dude's been like sitting in jail for like a year waiting for his trial and everything. He was all playing it on, since it was family and they're not mad at each other anymore, that they would just like drop the charges against him. And they didn't, and like the whole family was in tears and crying injustice and shit. It was just messed up, man. Them people be like in the hospital for ODing, and the family sneaking in more drugs for them, getting high right in their hospital beds and shit. It was crazy. It'd be enough if you seen it or know them, you'd change your name from being Rich White.
Hell, man, there was a movie back, God, late 70s, early 80s that made me want to do that. Matt Dillon played a character, not Matt Dillon from Gunsmoke, the actor Matt Dillon.
Mhm.
Make sure, it wasn't the Marshal. Anyway, he played. It was a movie about a bunch of delinquents, I think, out in California, and Matt Dillon's character's name was Richie White, and my mother used to give me grief about that. I was like, I never went by Richie, so I was like, why do you keep saying that's me? I don't go by Richie. One time, some kid on the playground called me Richie. He ended up with a bloody fucking nose. I punched him right in the face. Like, don't you ever call me that again. 2 school fights I got into were about over my name. One kid decided he was going to call me Dick the one day, and I just about busted his face too.
That's funny. Your name's well. Don't get mad, but Richie White. I know a good guy here. Real. He's Richie Green. Must be something about the last name being colors or something.
Could have been Rich Black or Rich Brown for all I know.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't hear too many guys called Purple or Blue or Yellow, Orange.
At least not in
No.
English.
Orange,
I did go to school with a kid
red.
whose last name was Amarillo.
Huh.
Or Amarillo if you're from Texas. That's yellow in Spanish.
You ever notice
Mr.
you'll run across somebody and they're like 6'5", 350 pounds, and their last name is Little?
Yeah.
You ever notice that? That always happens, man. Everybody's last name's Little is, larger people.
Yeah. Faust got one. Vita Blue.
Yeah. Vida.
Yeah,
Vita Blue.
Vita.
He was a pitcher for the Oakland Athletics back in the day.
Yeah. Good movie reference there, Mr. Pink.
You're my boy,
Those are
Blue.
Bulldogs.
Blue, you're my boy.
Okay, so there was a blue. All right, let's see.
Mr. Orange, Mr. Black.
Mr. Orange.
Yeah, it was black, orange, pink, white. Damn,
Purple.
Purple.
Violet.
Yeah.
Can't think. That is a good pick on Vita Blue. I forgot about him. I'm guessing that was his real name. Let's look. Yes, Vita Rochelle Blue Jr.
It's not a last name you hear very often.
Yeah.
That sounds like a girl, actually. Except for the junior part.
Pretty darn good pitcher. Yeah, that's when the Oakland A's won 3 straight World Series from 72 to 74. Yeah.
The ball just blew by you.
Yeah, that would have been slightly before that. Blew by you. Yeah.
Oh,
The Linda Ronstadt pitch. Because it
yeah.
flew by you.
I can't stand that song. My mother used to play that all the time.
I remember baseball announcers used to use that phrase every once in a while.
Man, my stupid radio station at work's been all on some 70s stuff, man. I'm talking like Saturday Night Fever, the Bee Gees, but they've been playing all the Grease stuff, man. Grease is the word, and at work I'll be saying, bird is the word stuff. But
that's right.
Yeah, they've played Grease and Xanadu shit. It's been some 70s Olivia Newton-John, John Travolta shit on my radio for like a week or two.
Yay.
Yeah. Oh, and then my helper decided to feed the Canadian geese with.
Oh God.
We pack a lunch, so we had like loaf of bread. And literally, dude, at the pond here, she opens up the car door and like 50 are coming before she's even thrown like 2 or 3 pieces, right? So it was windy. I told her, I said, throw it as hard as you can because of the wind, because she wouldn't get any closer. So she starts throwing, instead of going over to the grass where they're at, she's throwing the shit in the street and over thing. And like literally 100 of those things had me trucks around. I was afraid he was going to walk in the garage door of the house I was working on. They come all up in our construction and everything, man. Couldn't stop them. Like they're all separated little families, man. Like a male and a female and the little ones, and they all kind of like hang together or get chased off, or they don't hang together. It was like a mob, dude. They were all over us everywhere. I was like, don't you ever do that. But when we went back in, I was listening to the radio. They were playing Grease. And I started singing Geese is the word. We took videos, and she even knows don't ever do that again. Like, it was crazy. It wasn't just like a few come up and said hi. It was like, it's one of them's the leader. He's a big, mean bully motherfucker. And like, yeah, it was crazy, man. Took about half hour of my work away from me. I just sat there trying to get them to go away. Not to mention, within 5 minutes, the street was pretty messy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was wondering, Krabby. I was like, I'm thinking, Krabby had a moderator boo boo, and yep, he did apologize to Mr. Bob.
Oh,
Accidentally
get finger
deleted his
blocked.
comment. He accidentally
Oh, yeah.
deleted his comment. Yeah.
Must not
Well,
be
it
a
does
Vita
that.
Blue fan. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yes, no. And now sometimes when you just try to scroll, it automatically
Well,
selects somebody and lights up, block them, kick them out, whatever. And then you try not to touch anything, and it does it anyways.
yeah, Krabby is from Maryland over towards Baltimore area. I mean, he might be an Orioles fan.
Fireworks have started. We're not going to have fireworks this week, man. We got rain showers every day.
Yeah, we haven't had fireworks. There wasn't anybody setting off fireworks last night. It was raining too hard.
It was a nice day today here. High of 82.
Yeah, it was beautiful here today.
It was nice yesterday when it wasn't raining. Today it was back up into the 90s again.
I actually got up this morning and watched the sunrise, sitting outside, and just knew it was going to be a good day. And then later in the afternoon, I ended up just sitting outside for about an hour or so. Got a little sweat from the sun popping on me. Just kind of almost took a little nap sitting outside. It was so nice out.
Apparently, Mr. Bob, instead of just washing his whole hand, just washed his fingers.
Well, I was up until dark 30 after DM Foss's show last night, and had to get up at 10, and I got home around 2 and changed clothes and sat in front of the computer. Next thing you know, it was after 5, and I was getting woke up by a text from my son, and I got up and around. I watched Scotsman for a while. Got a little bit into that show. I decided to get up and find me a snack or something, and I walked into the bedroom and laid down next to George for a minute. Next thing you know, I'm waking up and it's 8 o'clock. It's like, ow, Rich is already on. Shoot, I better get back in the computer. So, wasn't that I ignored your show or anything. It's just I've been having a lazy Sunday, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Actually, today also I had fresh apple pie for breakfast, and I ended up couldn't think of anything else I wanted, so I had apple pie for lunch too.
It's fruit.
So far, all I've had for dinner were these pretzels I was eating when I came home.
I couldn't help it, man. You know, Mom's birthday was the other day. I went and got just a bunch of different cupcakes instead of a cake. You know, a lot of different choices for everybody and stuff. So I just brought cupcakes out there to her, and when I was there at the grocery store, it was all nearby, man. And fresh apple pies was sitting there, and I was all like, I got friends. Our fair's going on this week, and one of my friends, she's been talking about she's baking a pie. She does the pie baking thing. I kept hinting and hinting and hinting. You ought to make an apple pie for practice. Get warmed up. You know what I mean? Kept trying to get her to make me apple pie. She didn't get it, I guess. So when I was sitting there at the store, I see those apple pies. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna actually just enjoy this, not just eat it. I'm gonna enjoy it. And it's a good one.
Did you get ice cream with it too?
Yeah, I got the classic Neapolitan.
You know what's good? Caramel swirl with apple pie.
Oh, you know what? I got Cool Whip, but I only put it on one of my. I only put it on there at lunch. I didn't have Cool Whip for breakfast. It's just been a while since I had an apple pie. It's just been a while, so I just enjoyed it.
Heat the slice of apple pie up in the microwave and put the vanilla caramel swirl on top of the pie with then puts actual real whipped cream, not Cool Whip on top. That's good.
Man, I tell you what, I almost got, and I'm glad. Well, I think about keeping my eye on them, getting maybe a smaller one. But man, they had this cheesecake that was there. Oh my God, it was like $27 for a cheesecake.
Oh yeah, cheesecake.
Man, it was. God, it was 2-3 inches thick, a big one and everything. It just like out of all the other ones there, that was standing out on me hard. Like, oh man.
You ever see the size of some of the cheesecakes they have at Costco or Sam's Club? No joke, man. They're like that freaking big around.
Yeah, I ain't seen those. This one was a good looking one. It wasn't like the ones you buy in the frozen department or nothing.
Oh no, this is in their
Yeah.
bakery section.
Yeah, these were nice ones.
Yeah. They have all kinds. They'll have all kinds of different fruits on them, like different berries. Like one side will have a blackberry on, the other one cherries, and the other one will have like strawberries, and then they rotate it. And one I think had raspberry, and then one was chocolate syrup on it. They're good too, because that's one of the things they were giving samples of them last time we were there. Man.
Cheesecake's just one of the things I only get a couple times a year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I haven't had cheesecake in a long time.
Yeah.
Sounds good though.
Sure does.
Not sure where I could run out and just get a cheesecake without having to drive an hour, but still.
I just been eating all kinds of junk food. I usually eat junk food anyways. I live off burgers, pizza, and wings and shit. I ain't been eating much of that this year. Man, I've been hard on the ice cream cones, man. Now the pie. I've been sweet toothing it up this summer. I try to get me an ice cream cone at least every other day. Sometimes I get them every day in a row.
Used to get the $1.99 ice cream sandwiches from Walmart. God damn, those things are almost $4 a box now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got the ice cream in the freezer, but I go get an ice cream cone from the ice cream shops here.
Mm.
A couple of the little towns I go by on the way home, they got a little small like mom and pop ice cream.
They're talking like the waffle kind of cones or the
no, just regulars. I always get a crunch cone. I get a vanilla cone with the what is that crunch made out of? Like peanut brittle or something?
See, I like the waffle cones with you put a little bit of chocolate down the bottom of them so the ice cream don't seep out. Oh, can't wait
waffle
to get
bowl.
Yeah,
Sunday in a waffle bowl.
That's the only problem here. Like I order a medium ice cream cone, and they give you so much that like even in like you just can't. It's gonna be a drippy, melted mess here before you even get half of it taken care of. But they're sloppy. I don't suggest you get in your car with one, but
Yeah.
I sure like them. Sometimes my helper gets mad because I'll drive 15 minutes out of the way to stop and get ice cream.
I could run to Sonic and get ice cream. They're still open.
Bob said he hit Dairy Queen for dessert today. His wife had peanut butter parfait and he had a banana split. My go-to at Dairy Queen is the Royal Strawberry Cheesecake Blizzard. It's a blizzard with big chunks of cheesecake and strawberries in it.
Yeah, that's what I usually get. It's a
That'd be
blizzard.
right. Dairy
I
Queen's
really
still
don't.
open too.
I really don't do too much Dairy Queen.
It's just right up the street here.
Yeah, we have a Dairy Queen's within walking distance. The mom and pop ice cream shop, it's a little bit farther down the road. That's down towards where Walmart is.
I could walk it, but it's a half mile. Yeah.
Shit, I can do that half mile for rifle, Gizzard.
Wife
1,000
and I
yards.
Wife and I haven't taken the walk to Dairy Queen so far this summer. Or late spring for those of you who don't want to be sticklers to the fact that summer just started.
If I was going to walk to a restaurant, the closest one would be a Subway. Well, and a Pizza Hut. I've got a Pizza Hut that's 2 blocks away and a Subway that's 4 blocks away.
We got 2 mom and pop shops down the road here. One's a family run cafe kind of restaurant, and the other one's a hot dog shop, traditional old fashioned hot dog shop.
Yeah, I get for a chili dog.
Then over that way, we have Little Caesars.
Pizza.
They just closed down my Long John Silver's, man. My town's no longer got a Long John Silver.
There's not too many of those open anymore. They've closed
No,
a
there's
lot of
not.
them around here.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to find one.
Yeah, I don't know where I can
here,
go.
it's like a half hour away.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know anywhere I can drive to go find one. Something will ever happen here. They were leasing the building, and their lease ran out, and the owner didn't want to give them a new lease.
All right, Ron, catch you later, man.
Yep,
He's
he's
gotta
got to
run.
get ready for his show here in a little bit.
Yep.
I got a bunch of stuff I got to do tomorrow. Wow.
Yeah.
It's the first. There's a bunch of 4th of July sales I've got to do some promotions for.
Now I don't know if Ron today matters to say he said add, but I don't know if this is what he's saying he had for dinner: meatloaf, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, and mixed vegetables with a peach cobbler for dessert.
It's a lot of carbs.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a
I'm not
TV dinner.
saying it ain't good. I'm sure it is. It sounds
Oh
great.
yeah.
That's
Now,
one of
the
those
mac-
things you eat and then you go lay down for about 3 hours.
Yeah, I could do the mashed potatoes, the mac and cheese, and the cobbler, but I'm not big on mixed vegetables or meatloaf. So. But tonight we had sweet and sour pork, homemade sweet and sour pork.
See, we
I
had
had 2 Whopper Juniors.
we had our deal where they finally reopened our church after 4 months of renovations.
Speed Racers here.
So they had a big luncheon afterwards across the street over at the parish center, and it was ham and Swedish meatballs, and then mashed potatoes with all the fixings you wanted to put on top of it, green beans, and then a salad, roll, and desserts. And yeah, so that was pretty good. That's part of the reason I slept most of the afternoon.
I can see that.
I'm not going to apologize. It was a good day. My sister came down. My sister and my brother-in-law from Kansas City. They came down for it, so I got to visit with them and some other family. Good time.
Cool. So did you win the race speed?
Meh.
The guy's a no.
Here he comes. Here comes Speed Racer.
He's a demon on wheels.
He's a demon and he's gonna be chasing after someone. Sing the rest of it. You know you can.
Honestly, I'm trying to remember the words. I haven't seen that show in
He's
years.
coming at you, so you better look alive.
He's busy.
Oh, I remember.
Well, Mach 5.
Go Speed Racer.
And when the odds are against him and there's dangerous work to do.
You bet your life, Speed Racer. See it through.
Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Go.
There's your
Damn
serenade for tonight,
Nerds. Nerds.
Hey, Speed Racer was the shit back in the day, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a YouTube channel that they've Shout. They've got a bunch of channels that run 24 hours. Yeah, and they've got Speed Racer on one of them. They've got Godzilla, a whole bunch of different things, which I think YouTube doesn't like because I know they have like a backup Godzilla channel that I saw. But
The old Godzilla cartoon with Godzuki and everything.
no, the movies.
Oh, the movies. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a channel on Pluto TV service app thing that I think every show that's on that channel is Godzilla.
Have you seen Godzilla -1? That was pretty good. The new one, Japanese one, came out the end of last year.
I saw it. I liked it. The whole kamikaze storyline was really good.
Mm-hmm.
The animation on Godzilla, that's some of his movements aren't that good. And that's kind of what knocks the movie down for me.
Yeah, but you remember they made that on a $12 million budget. For a $12 million budget, it wasn't bad.
I mean, the Godzilla himself looked good. It's just when he moved, the movement wasn't natural.
Now, you'll know the scene I'm talking about. How the hell did she survive?
Yeah. Well, I knew she would because she has to.
I know, but damn.
Yeah.
Gary and Jason are both probably thinking to themselves, okay, now I got to see the movie to find out what the hell they're talking about.
No, I was just going to make the statement to everyone out there that I don't know any of these people. I've never met them. I don't know what they're talking about.
Godzilla -1 has a little bit of everything for everybody. There's comedy, romance, a giant monster that goes around destroying everything. A character that feels absolutely sorry for himself. A little girl with the worst crying in the world. That's what got me is when the little girl would do the cry. It sounded so fake. I don't know if they were pumping in some crying effect and just telling her to act like she was crying or what, but man, it did not sound right. Anyway, that's our critique for Godzilla -1 for tonight, since 2 people on the panel haven't seen it. And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's kind of like a new origin story for the monster. Well, not kind of, it is. And no, he's not an iguana.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Boy, that's a low budget Godzilla film when they use an iguana.
I thought we had to throw a little bit of blue
The
oyster.
Matthew Broderick one, that's what it was, Jason. It was a mutated iguana.
Gee.
Yeah, the mutated ocean iguana. Which they just call Zilla now. That one's been retconned to where it's not an actual Godzilla film.
I like the
And-
old ones, man. Like Godzilla versus King Kong, and Godzilla versus Rodan. So I like
had
the
a-
old ones like that.
I had a friend that worked for DreamWorks who came in kind of later in the project because they were so far behind, and he's on the credits. You know, when they've got the very end where they jam in everybody else, he's jammed in there. But he told me the reason it's raining through the whole movie is to hide all the flaws in the animations
I can believe it.
because it was so rushed.
Yeah. Now, the Zilla monster did appear in one or two of the Japanese Godzilla movies. So, while it's not an actual Godzilla movie, it's still within the canon of Godzilla because the monster was used in a couple other movies. Should have never been named Godzilla in the first place. They just put the Godzilla name on it to try and get people into the theaters.
So we couldn't even get a fresh monster. We had to get a used monster, is what you're telling me.
Well, a used name anyway. Only one of them monsters in that movie, and yet, damn, that thing sure was laying a hell of a lot of eggs all over Madison Square Garden.
Fertile as a turtle.
Who knew that nuclear weapons could make a iguana into a giant asexual monster?
Stranger things have happened.
Because of Stranger Things, Metallica went to #1 with Master of Puppets. 30 years after the fact.
The thing that should not be.
I was never a fan. I didn't like Hetfield singing. I mean, I liked Sandman and Unforgiven.
You like
that was about it.
You like the Metallica they play on the radio.
Yeah.
Not necessarily their thrash speed stuff.
No, none of their deep cuts.
Yeah.
Oh, the classic stuff's played on the radio now thanks to Sirius XM and other channels.
Yeah, the dual drum kit shit. Yeah.
WDVE in Pittsburgh used to play the Metallica stuff, even if it wasn't released on single. They would play like Master of Puppets and Welcome Home Sanitarium, and Fade to Black, and stuff like that. One got played on the radio.
Yeah, one's always been one of my favorites.
Blackened.
I like Leopard Messiah,
Yeah.
Ride the Lightning.
Mm-hmm. Orion's a good instrumental.
For Whom the Bell Tolls. Seek and Destroy, of course. You know,
Oh yeah.
that's what started it for me. Seek and Destroy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Kill 'Em All started the whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
But you kind of had to like James Hetfield. I mean, if you liked Wizard of Oz, you had to like James Hetfield. He looked just like Cowardly Lion, for crying out loud. Oh, Do Live Moose bringing up stuff off the Garage Inc. album. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a good album.
Yes, very well done.
Mm-hmm. Their cover of Tuesday's Gone with John Popper from Blues Traveler and Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains really well. I like that.
Their Turn the Page cover,
Oh yeah.
arguably better than the original.
Bob Seger said he likes their version better than his own.
Yeah, that's one of them that's rare. You know what I mean? The remakes usually don't come out better than the classic. You know what I mean? So I'll give that to them. That's a rare feat.
Yeah, that's a nice album to listen to.
Mm-hmm. I like their S&M album too.
Yeah. That one I bought and I didn't expect much out of it. I thought this is going to suck.
Well,
Then I listened to it one time through. It's like, this didn't suck at all.
Yeah, I watched it when they performed, when it was live on VH1. The next day I went out and they had, well, not the next day, but it was like a month later or something like that. I saw the album in Walmart and grabbed it.
It's like Metallica with a symphony. This wasn't going to work, but yeah, it did work.
Yeah, there's lots of bands that have done stuff with symphonies, and I love when you get a rock band that's got a symphony backing them. I'm a sucker for that. Like my favorite version of Aerosmith's "Dream On" is from the 1991 MTV Music Video Awards. It's Aerosmith and I think it was the San Francisco Philharmonic being conducted by Michael Kamen. It's a live version. It's on the Last Action Hero soundtrack. It's really good.
Yeah. Back in the day when MTV was really MTV, there was quite a few good performances that you could take away from some of the award shows.
Even their other shows like Unplugged.
Back then, Unplugged, yeah, definitely. But you know, MTV's not like that. It hasn't been like that for a long time.
Mm-mm.
But back in the day when it was really music television.
Oh yeah, there were entire nights where we'd have it on MTV all night long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when they played videos. Then everything went to like game shows and then reality shows, and then there was just like no more music videos or nothing.
Yeah. Saturday nights, 11 o'clock, Headbangers Ball was on the TV every
weekend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, Krabby says Guns N' Roses did a few with symphonies. Yeah.
Yeah, I sure did. Believe it or not, I think I remember seeing those girls from Heart do a performance with a symphony too.
Well, a lot of the bands back then, Michael Kamen, who was the conductor of the San Francisco Philharmonic, he did a lot of work with rock and metal bands because he was a big
he's a
hard
music
rock
fan,
and heavy metal.
Yeah.
He even put out his own metal album with him and this classical guitarist. It was what the hell's the name of it? Oh man, I know the name of it. I can't think of the name of it right now. But he did a guitar concerto that he composed, and then the classical guitarist played it. I have it somewhere. It's really good.
Hart did a cover of Stairway to Heaven at the Kennedy Center when they were honoring Led Zeppelin. That's a really good version.
Actually, no one I do remember about Heart. I always remember this every time discussion of the group Heart comes up. You know that little country singer, that little Martina McBride or something like that?
Are you thinking about that Gretchen, whatever?
No, this is a girl that was like popular like in the 90s or something like that. Martina McBride. She's just a little thing. She's like short hair. But she could sing like hell. I saw her do a show where all she did was like, well, one of the Hart sisters was there and she did the singing for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a killer show. It was like one of them, sort of like one of them. Remember these type of shows called Crossroads, and they would take like a country singer and a rock singer and throw them together. It was like that, and she just wailed, man. She like killed every one of them Heart songs, man. Like stole the show.
Martina McBride, she has a channel on Sirius XM. I don't know if it's on regular Sirius XM or if it's one of the ones you can only get on the streaming service. But it's a combination of country, hard rock, and heavy metal.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll never forget watching that, man. She really killed it, man. And like I don't care for any of her country music or anything at all, but she really killed it when she was on stage with Heart.
There's a Cybertronic Spree did a cover of Barracuda. That's you should look that one up, Rich.
Yeah, there's remember when VH1 used to do the VH1 Rock Honors every year before they started going almost the same way MTV's gone?
Yeah.
There was one where one of the honorees was Heart, and you had a bunch of different artists playing Heart come on and do Heart songs. One of them was that Gretchen chick. That's where I thought Jason was going. She sounded just like Ann Wilson singing.
Yeah, some of those are pretty cool. I remember seeing one that sucked terrible. That country guy, Kenny Chesney, dude, that everybody just loves. Him and Steve Miller, right? Steve Miller Band.
Uh-huh.
And it was not good at all. Like that Kenny Chesney dude, like he couldn't stand even like you could just tell he would regretted the whole thing. It's like he couldn't even stand to be on the stage and sing with him and stuff. It was like very clear, very like in your face, like his face, his attitude. It wasn't a good mix at all. At all. There was no vibe between the two of them. There was nothing. That Steve Miller tried to get into the music a little bit or whatever, and that Kenny Chesney dude, man, he was like they weren't gelling at all, man. It was pretty sad performance for a couple big name people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now,
it was a bad matchup, real bad.
I can't remember the name of the country singer, but he does a really good cover of "Life Is a Highway." I can't remember the name of the damn singer though. He gave it more of a southern rock sound to it. Damn, if I can remember who the hell it was.
Johnny Cash?
No, it wasn't Johnny Cash.
He covered everything else.
Yeah, right.
Well,
at least towards the end of his life, anyway.
Well, if it ain't David Allan Cole, I'll kiss your ass.
Well, it ain't David Allan Cole.
If that ain't country, that ain't country.
Yeah, Defense Dad said there was a concert, I guess, near him where Roger Daltrey was performing.
Ah.
That would have been cool. Yes, thank you. Rascal Flats. Thank you, Defense Dad.
Oh, I thought you. Yeah, I knew that was Rascal Flats. I thought you seen somebody else did a cover of it.
No.
Life is a Highway.
Yeah, Gretchen Wilson. Yeah, that's the one. That's the singer I was trying to
Uh huh.
think of.
I know who she is. Yeah. Don't really like her.
Dude, when she was singing the heart songs, I can't remember what song it was, but she sounded just like Ann Wilson.
Oh, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I didn't
Oh,
like
no, I'm not
her.
saying you did.
I,
I'm
I,
just
ju-
saying.
I just don't like her looks, I guess. Not her singing. Surprisingly. There's just something about her that's odd to me. But, we got our street festival here in a couple months. Jackal's gonna be here, so it'll probably get pretty rowdy uptown that night.
I tried convincing Amy to call off work yesterday and go to Busch Gardens because Bret Michaels was going to be in concert there, and we could have got in and saw Bret Michaels and rode the rides for free. But she didn't want to go.
Bret Michaels is running around a couple of the fair things around here too this summer. They advertise him on the radio every day. I might go up and see Jackal. I like Jackal. I like Jesse James. Might be a wild time up there.
Yeah, Jesse James Dupree.
Dupree, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
first one.
Don't know if they'll have Angie's Girls up there or not, but you never know. But it'll probably get pretty wild up there, man. It's in the middle of what we call Drunk Fest, anyways. So it's free, at least, you know.
Ozzy says, "Hide your wooden bar stools, Jason."
Oh yeah. No, they're just outside. They're basically on the corner uptown.
Yeah.
Do you think walk on up?
You think Jackal was trying to outdo Van Halen? Because you had Eddie Van Halen on Pound Cake playing a guitar with a drill, so they come out with a chainsaw.
I think Jesse just drank about 4 or 5 fifths and decided it'd be a good idea, is what I think. Which was a good idea, man. He can play the chainsaw pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure that'll probably be that might be their closer or something.
That's their biggest hit.
Yeah, that'll probably be their closer.
And what was the other big one on that album? When Will It Rain or something like that?
Oh, well, they had, I Stand Alone.
Yeah.
When Will It Rain? And there's a couple others that they would actually play on the radio.
Yeah, but I mean, as far
Gosh,
as their
I can't
hits,
think of them. Yeah.
It was the Lumberjack song and When Will It Rain were their 2 hit songs. The ones that really blew up off that album.
Yeah, I Stand Alone. Gosh, I can hear them in my head and I can't think of the song. There's another one we're forgetting.
I know those 2 were the ones that you always saw on MTV.
Oh, can't think of it. There's another one right on the tip of my tongue.
Wood says if he drank 5 fifths, he drank 1 whole. He's not wrong.
That's true.
Yeah. See, and people are calling us nerds for knowing the Speed Racer song.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys ever watch that show Full Throttle? I used to watch every one of those. It was about them guys when the Sturgis was open, or when Sturgis Rallies was going on. They owned the bar.
Yeah, I watched it.
No, can't say.
Till it burned down.
That I remember.
Yeah, till it burned down. Yeah, it's basically just following Jesse around, and well, like the guy who owns it all is like his brother-in-law, right? That's like Angie's husband or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of like they're in like business together and stuff with that bar. It was a pretty good show, man. They're pretty wild sometimes.
And Ozzy said Lumberjack song usually is the closer. I guess he's following them around like people follow around the Grateful Dead or something.
He's a jackal head.
Is that like a parrot head?
Uh,
Whoop, Ron Wayne's live.
Ozzy said he just got done doing his optic cut holster, the molding on it.
Actually, speaking of concerts, it would have been Friday and yesterday. We had Hank Williams Jr. and Leonard Skinner here. Boy,
I thought Skinner was quitting since none of the original members were alive anymore.
There's some country for you right there. Well, now the commercials on TV, they showed like Van Zant and everything. So
Yeah, well, Johnny Van Zant said they were quitting. Maybe they're doing a final tour or something. But he said that they were stopping since all the original members are deceased now.
Well, I'm glad he decided to wind it up around here, I guess.
I believe that was Leonard Skinner, not Leonard Skinnerd in the song. But yeah, for the longest time, I used to think they were saying Leonard Skinnerd in the Camp Granada. But, yeah. Ozzy said he worked security at a festival that they headlined. I'm guessing he's talking about Jackal. That's cool. I tried getting on working security at Three River Stadium. Yeah, getting all the concerts for free and shit. But no, didn't get hired. I knew that damn stadium inside and out. From watching football games there, watching baseball games there, watching concerts there, wrestling matches, monster truck rallies, and playing football on that field, which was a bitch. Damn, Three River Stadium's field was not fun.
We don't got monster trucks here anymore. Probably not going to have any. I don't know. Here during the winter, we had them here, and the guys got ran over and squashed. So
Ooh.
yeah, it was bad. He was perfectly lined up with one of those big tires. I mean, it got him right in the middle. When the monster trucks was backing up to like return to floor it, you know what I mean? And he come walking backwards into the path of that truck. He was trying to motion another monster truck that was just parked, trying to get him to like move. and he had to go like way out front of it for the driver to see him, and he walked right in front of that monster truck, man, and they all got on video. It like he was perfectly lined up with the middle of that tire.
That sucks.
Yeah, them treads just like grabbed him and
Oh yeah, I can
squished him like
imagine.
a pop can. Yeah, it didn't like flip him as bad at the beginning as it compacted. Shall I? Yeah, it's not good. So I don't think they're gonna have the monster trucks here at the Coliseum much more.
Yeah, accidents happen. There's been plenty of guys that have been gored at bull riding events and stuff. They still have those. Dale Earnhardt was killed at Daytona. They still have races there.
Yeah, our thing though is we they'd be all right this time, the fair, but they were doing it indoors, and our arena just wasn't big enough for it really.
Mm-hmm. Let's
That
not
was
forget
that
that.
was the main problem. It was too small. They had too many trucks, and it was too small, and they were parking them inside when they weren't using them, so that took up even more space. And
Yeah, when they used to do the truck rally at Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, they would have the trucks park out behind the arena.
yeah,
Mm.
they done that here before, but this particular time they didn't do it like that. So might have been too cold for the garage doors to be open. You know what I mean? For them to come and go.
Yeah. In
But
Pittsburgh, every year we would have two monster truck rallies. We'd have one in the winter, which would be in Civic Arena when there wasn't a Penguins game. And then the other one would be in summer at Three River Stadium, which was massive, that one, because they'd have four trucks going at the same time in that venue, whereas through Civic Arena you would only have two being able to compete at one time. But they would be like drag racing from one side of the stadium to the other over top of the cars. It's crazy. $100-yard dash in a monster truck.
mm,
Because they would set the field up like how it would be for the Steeler games or the high school football playoffs and stuff, So, and they had where the end zones would be the slow down area before they hit the wall. Ozzy says Gretchen Wilson's not that far from him. His friend dated her in the early 90s. He said that a while ago. I just caught it. What the rest of it was. I caught where you said her name earlier, which reminded me what her name was, obviously. But I didn't read the whole comment. That was my fault, Ozzy. But, yeah. I was going to say something else, and I forget what the hell it was.
well, I was gonna say I'm gonna hop off here, man. I gotta get a couple things tidied up here before I head to bed.
Okay.
All right, good to see you guys. Hope you guys have a good week this week and celebrate the
You too.
4th of July, July 4th, however you want to say it.
Independence Day.
Yeah, that too. So, all right, guys. Red, white, and blue. I'll see you guys all later.
Yep. Later, Jason.
Right.
So now we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's only my show. What do I know? But We already covered Speed Racer. We covered Godzilla. A bunch of other movies.
I'm on one show and watching another. Is that cheating?
It is.
Maybe. I don't know. It's double dipping for sure.
Is Rich not enough for you?
Rich isn't
Apparently
giving
not,
stuff
man.
away.
Oh, I see how it is. Well, we are if we ever get the 500 subs.
I've tried to help.
I know. Just hit a wall. Doss has tried helping too.
If you're watching this and you're not subscribed to Unloaded Media, you should be ashamed of yourself. Come on, man.
Yeah, really. Come on. What's wrong?
It's
with
one
you?
button. It doesn't cost you nothing. Hey, that even rhymed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody that's out there right now is subbed. At least the ones that are commenting. No, you never know about that Defense Dad guy.
No.
Should I pick on him again about how my wife's Maverick looks more like a truck than his truck?
I saw one of those Mavericks today over in the parking lot. I was parked just real close to it. Not a bad looking truck.
No. And it's hard as hell to get one because as soon as they get them in stock, they're gone like that. They are like extremely popular right now.
Why did they use the Maverick name?
That I don't know because I've been wondering that myself.
Well, they already owned it.
Yeah.
They'd used it before, so it's not like they had to register another trademark.
Yeah,
It
but the
kind of-
originals weren't a truck.
Yeah, I know.
They
The
kind
name
of
just-
figure everybody's forgotten about that because it's been
Yeah.
50 years.
I didn't forget.
I didn't
I-
forget either.
That was my first car. Was a Maverick.
Oh,
In fairness, the name Maverick does seem like it fits a truck better than a little car does. Anyway, but yeah. But I don't know.
well, yeah. A maverick is someone who bucks tradition. Yeah.
Well, before that, it was actually Rogue Cow or something. Something along those lines. Something to do with cattle. If Snob were here, he would know. Maybe. He's part cow.
So is Moo.
Yeah, but Moo thinks cows have upper teeth too. So.
There's Moo right there.
Wrong Maverick, Moo. I mean, you could also say Maverick equals Mel Gibson. Or James Gardner. Or Roger Moore. Or the other guy whose name I can never remember from the series. Yeah, I remember Maverick was a rogue calf or something, maybe.
It's too bad they don't have this website you could go to where you could put in a term and it would like tell you.
Well, I'm trying to remember without having to cheat.
It's not cheating.
When you have somebody out in the live chat that calls you a living encyclopedia, yeah, it is.
A maverick is a reference to an unbranded calf or yearling. So it hasn't been branded.
So it's not Chuck Connors then.
Okay.
The TV show Branded, where he got branded as a traitor.
He wasn't a calf, I don't believe.
No, he would have been full grown, so he would have been a unbranded bull, I guess. But he wasn't branded as a kid either. He got branded when he got older. He was a maverick that got branded. Krabby agrees with me, by the way, about it's cheating if you're a living encyclopedia.
It's only cheating because you didn't think of it.
No, I thought about doing it. I just didn't do it. When we went to the antique gun show, Krabby, I told my wife I'm going to the gun show with the living encyclopedia.
You should have went somewhere with cycle camp when I went to Wanamaker. Cycle camp was there. He knew if he'd have a whole list of guns he was coming for, what year, what model, and he'd walk right through there. He could talk with the guys about the evolution of this gun, and he's just like, man, he just got a ton of knowledge.
I was telling him all about different military uniforms from different countries and telling him what different cannon shot were that they had sitting there in the museum section of the show. Because there was two parts to the antique gun show we went to. Some of it was museum display kind of set up, and then you had the sales floor. Because the way that the venue we were at had like two separate buildings that were joined together. Krabby says I was very handy there. We're very useful. God, somebody had a couple of people had actual Schofields there for sale. Not replicas, the actual real deal from the late 1800s. I wish I would have had the money. I would have bought one of those. They were in immaculate condition, too. Ivory handles on them and whatnot. Really pretty. Krabby bought a gun while we were there. A cap gun, but it was a gun. One of those old tin stamp type cap guns. Weren't very big. Well, if I remember right, it was one of the ones where you ripped off one of the cap from the strips and stuck it in between the hammer and the body of the gun, and pulled the hammer back and pulled the trigger. But there was the one booth we went by, the guy had a shit ton of those things. The old school little toy guns. I think he had some full size cap guns and stuff too. It was, for being just outside Baltimore, it really was a nice little gun show that they had. A lot of cool guns are. It's funny, they advertised it where all the guns had to be from, what was it, 1895 or older, I think is what the advertisement said. But there were people there that were selling stuff from World War II and whatnot. So I guess they relaxed the rules a little bit. I would have loved, the guy wasn't selling them, but I would have loved to have had one of those unissued P-38s that the one guy had. A whole crate of them. Yeah, key being outside of Baltimore. Yes, that is correct, Krabby. That's absolutely correct. If they do that again, we're going to have to find a better pizza shop, Krabby. That one was okay. It wasn't the greatest. Kingpin wouldn't let anybody pay for anything at the pizza shop. Or I should say, wouldn't let anybody else pay for anything. I told Amy Kingpin was going to pay for something. There was going to be something during the course of the day he wasn't going to let anybody else pay for. She didn't believe me. That's just the way he is, though. He does that. No, the loaded fries were good at the pizza shop we went to after we left the antique show, or gun show, whatever you want to call it. A lot of old sabers and stuff there too. Krabby kept looking for a saber, and what's he buy instead? A cap gun. He kept asking me questions about the old swords and stuff, saying he was looking for one, and he bought a cap gun instead. Granted, the cap gun was probably a little cheaper than what some of the swords were. Some of them looked like they just picked them up off a battlefield. Some of those things were extremely poorly conditioned, full of rust and stuff. Grips gone. Looked like if you tried swinging them, they would just fall to pieces. I think everybody that went had a good time. My wife and son went. Yeah. Krabby, Kingpin. I think we had fun. My son did get something. He got a World War II vintage stock for his M1 carbine. So his M1 carbine is combination Vietnam era and World War II era. So there's that. Yeah, we are definitely gonna have to do it again, Krabby. Maybe next time I'll have some money to where I can actually buy something. I would have loved to have gotten one of those little revolvers that one table had. They weren't in as good a condition as the ones that the guy had in the museum section, but basically they were the same thing. They weren't the fancy Colt presentation versions. So those little pocket revolvers from back in the day are cool. Those little side hammers are cool too. Expensive as hell. What was it, Krabby, that the guy said was the most he had paid for one of those? Was that like 350 grand? He said he paid for the one. I think that's what he said it was. It stood there for with talking with that guy for a while. He had all of them, all the original accessories and stuff. That's what drives the price up. Talking about a gun that came out in the mid 1800s. Those would have probably came out around 1850, somewhere around there. Maybe a little later. But yeah, they were on the high side, but they all had a letter to a specific person of historical significance for that time period, and the letters were all signed by Samuel Colt. They had all the original accessories to them, and they were in immaculate condition, so they weren't going to be cheap. 350 grand, when you put all that in perspective, doesn't seem all that expensive. Yeah, serious history, exactly. They're all hand engraved. I mean, beautiful little revolvers. I feel like I'm the only one here, even though there's two other people on screen.
I'm still here. I just didn't have anything to add to the conversation.
Ah, okay. Are you sure?
Yes, because I have not been there. I have not seen those things.
The
Do you know
rumors
what
of my leaving have been highly exaggerated.
Do you know what the side hammer revolvers are? I can see if I can find a picture and show you what I'm talking about, so you get a frame of reference. Ooh, it's Rock Island Armory Repair, and it has one up for auction. Ooh, it's 1855 side hammer pocket revolver. Here we go. Let me go back over here to StreamYard and share this picture. That's a Colt side hammer revolver right there. And that comes with the mold for the making the ball and the flask for your powder. And I don't know if it comes with the case for it or not, but the ones that they had at the antique show, they were all presentation models, so they were all like nickel plated and hand engraved and stuff. The ivory grips, and they had the wood presentation boxes and the letters from Samuel Colt with them. They're kind of cool. But this was one of Colt's first attempts at a small pocket revolver. This was before he figured out how to make the hammer work in the smaller frame. So he put the hammer on the outside.
I was not familiar with it.
And they're a cap and ball pattern revolver, obviously. Yeah, they're kind of cool. Little gun. Neat piece of history. Yeah, the ones that this guy had were even more so because of what they were. This guy had a whole collection of these things. He had to have had like 30 or 40 of them on display. It was crazy. And they were all presentation pieces. There you go. They do have it. Does have its presentation box with it. It's even got some of the ball that would have came with it. So that's cool. And the little case that the caps would have came in, the percussion caps. Cool. Wonder how much they want for this one, or how much it'll go for. I don't think it said it's sold. Did it? No, this is just a story about it, I guess. This one's been featured in a book. Look and see if they have a price that it went for. So it's engraved with the person's name that it was given to. And Samuel Colt's timekeeper, James McClatchy. Basically, the guy was in charge of making sure the assembly lines were working. It would have originally been $28.88 for it. Somehow, I don't think that's how much it would cost now.
Well, that's a lot of money back then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could buy a horse for that much back then. A horse would have been the equivalent of buying a car. We know how much cars cost today. This looks like one of the ones that the guy I was telling you about had, where they were nickel plated like that. His were engraved and had the ivory grips on them. Yeah, and he had a whole thing full of the things. Like I said, they were all in the original presentation boxes and stuff. It's crazy. I don't think he had any of the carbine ones. I don't remember seeing any of the carbine ones. Thinking this story might be from last year or so. It doesn't have a date on it, but the catalog.
22.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, now I see it. So yeah, so 2 years ago. Yeah, it's about right because it's also got the one catalog thing. Also had the Han Solo pistol from Star Wars that went for like $1 million. Right there. The what is it, DL-44?
Hmm.
Yeah, this sold for $1 million. Probably the most that a Mauser C96 ever sold for. Granted, it's a highly modified Mauser C96.
Well, it's probably the most famous.
Oh, definitely that. Good night, Ron. Gary says George is a mouser. Did George catch a mouse? If so,
A long time ago, yeah.
oh. Well, you said that now, so I thought maybe he caught. I was going to ask, did you give him a treat? But, oh well. Guess George is too lazy to catch him now. Our cats caught a couple trying to sneak in the back door. This is the wrong house for a mouse to be trying to sneak into. We gotta get rid of some of these damn cats. I'm tired of cats. There's just too many. Just gotta quit rescuing them. Let somebody else do it for once. She got mad when she wanted to get a dog, and I said, you know, Brittany, that's our oldest daughter, her cat, Timmy, he acts like a dog. She got mad. But she ended up she got the puppy because her brother died. Like, fine, you're upset, get the puppy, leave me alone. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear about you want a dog anymore. Ever since we went to the Great American Outdoor Show, she was kept getting on my case about how she wanted she wanted a Ford Maverick because they had one there that she just absolutely fell in love with, and so she got one of them too. Traded in the Escape, got the Maverick. Basically the same thing. They're the same. They're built on the same frame. Just one's a truck and one's an SUV. There's some cosmetic differences between the front end and whatnot on them. But she said it drives just like what the Escape did. So doesn't have all the bells and whistles that our Escape had though. But that one with tax and shit, if we would have got the one that had all the bells and whistles, that would have been around 50 grand and we couldn't afford that. Might as well just got a Ford Ranger at that point. Oh man, I don't know what else to talk about now. Time is. How long have we been going? Oh hell, we're going 2.5 hours. Didn't realize we were on that long. I guess we could start wrapping it up then. So yeah, I guess that's what we'll do. You there, Gary?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Oh, thanks for having me. If you're a channel member of mine, channel member chat, members only chat, Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. And Friday night, is Foul Territory once again, 269, I do believe. That'll be at 9 o'clock p.m. Central
Nice.
Daylight Time. Thanks for having me. Give him the bird.
All right. What about you, Foss? Anything you want to plug or say or anything?
You're still on Patreon, right?
No, I do not have Patreon anymore.
You're on Subscribestar, right?
Yeah.
Join Rich White's Subscribestar. It's Subscribestar/Rich White something unloaded media somewhere.
It's
Something
right there
like
on the
that.
screen. Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect timing. It's right there on the screen
down
right there. Yeah.
You can support the channel on Subscribestar.
Or PayPal if you want. I got that somewhere on here too. Or by going to Blackout Coffee.
Or
Or
you can wait outside his house and throw change at him.
yeah, you can do that too, I suppose. There's the Tractor Supply link if you want to use the affiliate link there. Or Smoky Mountain Knife Works, there's their affiliate link for that. Oh, congratulations to Gary for getting his Smoky Mountain Knife Works affiliate through.
Thank you.
Yeah. And there's the Field Supply with affiliate link, which is a hunting and camping supply store. If anybody doesn't know what that is. So, yeah, a couple of different ways you can support the channel. And what else? Oh yeah, we got this 500 sub giveaway thing. If we can ever get the 500 subs, got a lot of nice knives. A couple of them supplied by Mr. DM Foss, who is on the panel right now. So thank you for that. As well as a holster that we're not quite sure what gun it goes to.
I was pretty sure. Well, I think it's a multi-fit.
Yeah, the first carry ones usually are.
But I think it's the size that'll fit the CZ compact, 75 compact.
Here's the thing. It doesn't work with my son's full size 75. It fit my G2C pretty good. Who knows?
But I don't remember. I honestly don't remember because I got it from Versacarry for Thunder on the Prairie last year, and I don't remember what gun I said because it was one I didn't. I think I didn't have a holster for, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's a nice holster though, folks. So whatever size guns it fits. If it fits a G2C, it'll probably fit like a Glock 26, 27, 19 possibly. It might stick out a little bit at the bottom on a 19. But yeah, it's a nice holster. It's very similar to the one I got on my hip right now. So let me take my pistol out and show you the holster. Yeah, it's very similar to this Comfort Flex Deluxe. It just doesn't have the backing on it. It's just leather back here. It's a very nice holster. It's got the Kydex insert and everything like this does. So it's not right here. It's out packed up in a box right now, so can't really show it to you. But I give you an idea what it looks like. It's like this, but it's bigger. But it's a little bit bigger because this is the P365 holster, and this only fits a P365. It's a little bit smaller than what the other one is. Like, I can't fit my G2C in this. It will not fit. So I can squeeze my shield into this, believe it or not. It's a bitch to get back out, but I can get it in there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, it's a nice holster that's going to be in the giveaway. And we got the Smoky Mountain Knife Works knife that'll be in the giveaway. Little lockback.
Classic styling.
Yep. Classic. Brass bolsters, brass lined, steel lock. Nice little knife. I was actually pleasantly surprised with the quality of it. You know, this is a promotional giveaway knife that they had for an event a couple years ago that they were doing, and they had some left over, so they sent me a couple of them. So we're going to be giving one of these away in the giveaway. I'm probably going to do a promotional video for the giveaway shortly, and basically do a tongue-in-cheek review of the knife so keep an eye out for that. I got a couple other videos I got to do first, but that's what I'm planning to do. Oh, and that is a real leather sheath that it comes into. Nice little knife. Somebody will have a chance to win one of these. And of course, somebody will have a chance to win one of these as well. But what model Gerber is that knife that you sent? Do you remember?
Oh, the Gerber. Yeah.
I know it's big for a folder.
I don't know. I kind of liked it because it's kind of blocky. But I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. I like smaller folders. But yeah, it's a nice knife. And of course, the other one's a Buck 119. Everybody knows what a Buck 119 is, I hope. That's the knife that was made famous in
yeah, that was X Adam 1 had sent that to me.
Yeah. God, I can't think of the name of the movie. Scream. That was the knife that was used as the murder weapon in Scream. That's what. So, if you've seen Scream and the knife that they were using as the murder weapon, there's going to be one of those. Not exactly from the one from the movie, obviously, because that's probably going to carry a good price tag on it. But that model of knife.
I saw Scream 2 first. And I did before I saw the first one, so the ending of Scream 2 made no sense to me.
Yeah, you definitely got to watch those movies in order. Anyway, yeah, we got some nice prizes and a buttload of stickers that they sent me. A literal buttload of stickers. I could do
Gerber Freeman guide. That's what it is. That's what that Gerber is.
Okay.
A Freeman guide folding knife.
Yeah, it's a chunky folder. Got some size to it. And nice rubberized grip and stuff. It's a nice knife. A little big for my taste in knives, but at least the folders. But yeah. If you like big knives, or especially folding knives, I mean, as far as folding knives are concerned, this is about the biggest I go for, something like this. That other one, the blade's like that on it.
Yeah, that's what I kind of liked about it. But if it was flipper style, I probably would have kept it. But it has the thumb stud. I kind of prefer the flippers.
Tell you what, I'm really liking this one with the front flip. Gary said he doesn't like front flips, but I'm really getting used to this one. I really like it. It did take some adjusting for, so if you're out there and you end up winning the other one of these I have, if we ever get to where we can do the giveaway, you're going to want to adjust the front screws a little bit, possibly. I had to loosen them maybe an eighth of a turn to get them to where they, but yeah, after that, it opens really easy. It takes a little practice to get it to where you figure out where you got to hold it exactly for that to work. But once you do, because it's not intuitive, you know what I mean? Whereas a thumb flipper, you pretty much got the idea. A rear flipper, you pretty much get the idea. With this one, it's a little bit different. I found that it was easier to figure out how it worked by not looking at it. You know what I mean? If you look at it, it looks like you should just be able to pull it straight back, but you can't. You got to like pull it up from the front, if that makes sense. It's almost like a rolling action instead of a pulling.
I've never had one.
Yeah, it looks like you should just be able to pull back like this, but it doesn't always work if you do it that way, and you'll just tear your finger up. What you got to do, it's like you roll your finger across the top and it flips right open. You can do it the lazy way too and just push it with your thumb. Open it that way. Yeah. I like it. That's the Sencut Jubal for anybody who's wondering. I got a short on this video on the channel, so if you want to see more about the knife, you can watch that short. But man, I was signing off of here like 20 minutes ago. Still talking. All right. So I guess we'll leave it at that for this week. Thank everybody who is out there watching. And we will catch you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Gary can't get his Apple thing to work. There you go. Yes, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we will catch y'all later. Have a good night, folks. Where did I put that silly outro that Foss made?